Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Winter's Wish. And last time we got Tojo's happy ending. I mean, is it technically called the happy ending? The affection ending. It's the affection ending, which is, the best end. It's the only one, to be fair. It's not, because obviously we're going to do the bad endings, but we pretend the bad endings didn't really happen, but we're doing them for completionist's sake. So, I've loaded up our first save. We are going to do the short bad end first. So, this is just bad end, game over. But we get a CG. So, this we look away. If he touches me anymore, my head might actually start boiling. My face was probably bright red right about now, not from my fever, but from psychological reasons. I turned over and looked the other way so he wouldn't see how hard I was blushing. Sorry, I didn't care for that. Huh? I thought I'd succeeded in casually turning my face away, but I guess the cat was out of the bag. Crap, that gave him the wrong idea. I'm sorry, no, it didn't upset me. I was just a little embarrassed. Tojo's face softened into a look of relief when I gave him a flustered apology. I keep hitting, the Y button is the skippy one. This game is normal, right? But, I keep hitting the Y button, so we're not skipping. So, I'm just saying, because that should start skipping when we're there, but... Huh? Were you? Tojo really is a nice guy. Okay, there we go. Because I was I'm like, I'll hit the Y so that, and I thought it was just going to say, so then but I was like, oh, it just skips. Because sometimes it doesn't do anything, it'll just turn on skip red. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, it just, okay, so I'm just going to put that. I think it also goes ding, ding. It keeps dinging at you, so sorry, but. So anyway, okay, now, is this when we're making oyster catchers for the kids? Does this one have a skip to next? Okay, cool. This one does. So there we go. We'll do that. We'll do that. I sometimes forget that they have them, and sometimes skipping through is a little bit nicer, but anyway. How do I answer him while still sparing his feelings as much as I can? I don't remember what the question was. Oh, this is when he had the threads, and he's like, you can see my threads, and we're like, but the only just now is was kind of the truth, but tell him only just now. Tojo seemed a little nervous that I could see his threads. That reminds me, that happened back in the village, too. I thought back on when I lived in the village. The villagers were spooked because I told them I could see their emotional threads. They scorned me as a mind-reading demon who peered into other people's thoughts. In other words, I might freak Tojo out if I tell him the truth right now. I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but at the same time, I didn't want Tojo to hate me either. I just happened to see them. I can't see them anymore. Okay. Because I just now is was the truth, because it's oh yeah, no, I just noticed them right now, that I could see them. That is the truth, but her being oh, just now, but they went away. That's the lie. Okay. That makes more sense, because I'm that's not exactly a lie, but yes, they turned it into one. I resorted to lying. A white lie, but a lie nonetheless. Or at least that's what I told myself. Oh, really? Tojo's expression softened a bit, apparently relieved by what I'd said. The color of his threads also showed how relieved he was. I'm glad I didn't tell him the truth after all. I'll keep quiet about being able to see his threads from now on. Huh. Okay. Yes, I only have one hand, so... Again, you know the drill. The bird's smooshed into it. After giving some thought, I replied, he's a precious friend of mine. Because Tojo's a precious friend of mine. I couldn't simply watch in silence while my friend was suspected of something and disposed of. You're right. And if I weren't on his side, he'd be all alone right now. I know better than anyone how difficult and lonely it is to be all alone. I didn't want him to go through that pain, too. I firmly expressed my opinion. That's very kind of you. Tojo's only friend? Tojo had been sitting next to me, listening while I spoke openly. He looked torn. The threads around his neck, however, were the colors of relief and joy. I was overjoyed to know that even someone like me could be there for Tojo. Lord Yoshimune nodded with satisfaction at what I'd said before turning towards Tojo. Wow. Sorry, bird. I needed my hand. I'm sorry. He was like I was just about to pet myself. I know, I'm sorry. It's very hard. Maybe Komame wishes she could fly like that too, and we say, I hope so. Yes. I hope you'll be able to fly someday too, Komame. Chirp. I said that hoping to cheer her up, but Komame looked even more dejected. Huh. I somehow made her even more depressed. She's not going to help us, and then, Well, maybe that's okay. So maybe that's it. It's like saying, like, I hope you'll be able to do it someday too, instead of like, no rush. It's what I thought. Like, you're like, no rush. I have faith in you. You'll be able to do it someday by just saying no rush, and then I hope so, because like, I don't know. It's questionable if you'll ever get. You know what I mean? Like, hoping is different than I have faith you're gonna do it. You'll do it someday versus I hope you will someday. You know what I mean? Even though usually as a normal person, when you say like, I hope so, it's not like, oh, what, you don't have faith I can do it? You know what I mean? That's not your intention, but they take things a little too literally in games sometimes. And the difference being like, I hope so. Oh, and now she's not going to be able to get out and we're all going to die because of the monster thingy. Anyway, to say that, I'm sorry? I missed that tip part, but that's okay. That's what she said. All right, then. Should we get going? Okay. And now cannot be skipped. Oh, okay. But the option is skips to next text or unread section. But now you can't skip? Next choice. Sorry, not text. It's skip to next choice or unread section. But I guess it's really just skip to next choice, not unread section. Because that's interesting. I tried to skip and it's like, nope, you can't do that now. But there is an unread section at some point. Obviously, because we're going to get a bad ending. But anyway, not a big deal. So, now we're here. And, okay, this is when Chie's here and we're going to leave. And we're all going to run away. Unless we all die here. But this is the first time we came in. We all get out. We watch the school. We leave Chie at home. Tanichibo's we're gonna get all... Oh. Tojo sat down beside me, a distant look in his eyes. Man, it's been a long day. Do we not get that CG? It sure has. Aren't you tired? I'm trained for this. I might not be useful as a vessel anymore, but I still take great pride in my stamina. That's why he doesn't need the soft-shell turtle. Aren't you tired? We've been through a lot today. I'm fine. Don't take my mountain upbringing lightly. Noted. I underestimated you. I could see Tojo starting to crack a smile while we talked, but then he steeled himself once more so we don't get the snuggling scene. You already know this, but come tomorrow we'll be facing off against the kidnapping god. I nodded solemnly. I'm not sure we'll get the Oniwaban's cooperation, and we don't have many people on our side. Never mind whether or not we'll win this fight. All we can do right now is cross our fingers and hope doing this will crack the case. I want to save the kids no matter what it takes. Me too. We have to rescue them. I'll do everything I can to help too. I might not be useful in battle, but my powers have to be useful for something. Tojo made a face like he was thinking about something. Is something the matter? No, nothing. You hated it when I treated you like a little kid, didn't you? He whispered this like he only just remembered, then gently placed his hand on my head. Is this the CG? 'Cause, like, I don't remember this one. Is this the CG we get in this one? This is a new one, because I remember this one, but this is she's like, it's kind of adorable. And she's looking at him like, sir? She looks very fucking confused, but it's cute. And tenderly kissed my hair. It's kind of adorable, though. Huh? After watching me turn beet red and start panicking, Tojo smiled sweetly at me. We'll be up early tomorrow, so let's go to sleep. Night, Spacey. Good night. So we don't get the snuggling scene, but we get the cute little kiss on the head scene, which is adorable. I love this. My heart was still racing because it was all so sudden. Took me completely by surprise. There was no way I could sleep like this. He's not treating me like a kid anymore, that's for sure. I kind of get the sense he's teasing me, though. I stared a bit resentfully at Tojo, who had already closed his eyes. Okay. So that was the difference in that scene. Oh, the next morning. Tojo was already gone when I woke up. Uh-oh, did they all leave? I guess he woke up before I did. I looked around the house thinking he had, but no one was around. Tomonari and Tanichibo were gone too. Not just Tojo. They left me behind. They'd been keeping watch over the temple school one at a time, so it seemed odd that all three of them were gone. I was suddenly overcome with worry. Tojo wouldn't have lost his form and vanished, right? Chirp! 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 Kamame seemed to sense something was off too because she was looking around nervously. I glanced over and noticed a letter placed on the cushion where Kamame had been sleeping. That letter wasn't there yesterday, unless Kamame learned to write. I looked it over and noticed it was addressed to me. As I read over the letter, I could feel the expression on my face grow more and more tense. The letter said that he left me behind after discussing the matter with Tomonari because he didn't want me to be in any danger. Because I can't fight like everyone else. I went white as a sheet. I've got to go! I rushed out of the house in a panic, carrying Kamame with me. And he's gonna end up dead. Because it's the short bad end, so. It says short, but it's not really a short bad end. Unless it just ends fast, but it's just a bad end. Game over. Why? Why? I ran towards the temple school like my life depended on it, unless we die. But I assumed he would. I had a bad feeling about all of this. A feeling that something was happening that couldn't be undone. Huh? Confused, I stopped in my tracks. There was absolutely nothing where the school should have been. I walked around thinking I might have just come to the wrong place. No matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find any sign of the guys, let alone the school. Okay, so now they're fighting with the kidnapping gun and he's got the shield up. No, wait. How could this be? Tojo? Tomonari? Tanichibo! Where are you? Tojo! Tojo! I called his name frantically, but he never responded. Several Oniwaban, including Kyoshiro, eventually arrived on the scene. They were also perplexed that the temple school had simply vanished. The thing is you've seen the door, so she should be able to put it together. They asked me what happened and where the Tojo? And where the Tojo and the rest had gone. That's a bad time for a typo, Tim. And where Tojo and the rest had gone, but I wasn't able to answer any of their questions. I never saw Tojo again. Goddamn, what? Why did things have to end like this? No matter how many times I racked my brain, I was never able to come up with an answer. So it's just like, oh well, okay. I get it. To be fair to the game, I do like the fact, because usually when you come here, it's always a different character. Perfect timing that it's Tojo, though. You know what I mean? I get it, though. If you got this ending, say, before the main one, they don't want to spoil that the kidnapping god puts a thing. You know that, like, wait, what the hell? Oh, there was a weird thing on the door, made it look like a wall. But you wouldn't think that. I mean, you'd be like, well, remember that the door was really a wall, so like, and that's why it disappeared, so it's doing something. But like, it's not gonna like give you the whole end where like then they're fighting the gun, then they die or whatever, because that kind of ruins that ending for you, and it's just supposed to be a bad end. Like, I never saw him again because he left me, type of a thing. So, all right, let's come down here, and that was save file 1, so we open save file 2. Doot, and then this one is going to be our sorrow end. It's just sorrow ending. That's what it's called. Maybe Kamame wishes she could fly. And we say, I hope so too someday. And now we can skip this because we already read it. And, oh wait, actually, yes, we can do this. That's true, because we can skip this time. We couldn't last time because we didn't get any more choices. But now we can skip to this choice where we tell Kamame to run! Whoops. Run, Kamame, run! Run! I screamed, desperate. Kamame might get caught in a swath of black threads herself if she stuck around. Get away from here, Kamame! Go somewhere far, far away! Chirp! Kamame then hopped back onto my shoulder, perhaps trying to help me. Stop it, Kamame! Don't be stupid! Birds are stupid.
I say that. You're still kind of dumb. Sometimes you're stupid and sometimes you're very smart, but you know what? You're very loyal. Because I could be lying passed out on the floor and be like, save yourself! And you'd be like, no, Mommy, I not leave you. I not leave my human. I know. Oh, you're so precious. Birdies are so precious when they love their humans. I'm sorry, I was just telling you how precious you are. But it's stupid. You're going to get yourself killed. Yeah, you would absolutely be this bird. You're like, no, Mommy, I snuggle with you. What are you doing? You got snacks?
You'd get eaten by this demon monster in a heartbeat. She desperately tried to pull the black threads off of me with her tiny beak. Aww. Her whole body was burned. She must have been struck by whatever supernatural power was surging through the threads. Okay, I know this is the sorrow end, but if you kill the bird, I'm still going to be pissed. Chirp. She just made a sizzling noise and then her little body thunked. Stop it! We're all going to live, but Kamame dies, and it's going to be like, that's why it's the sorrow end, and I will yeet this game. Kamame! Kamame! I was a little relieved to hear her respond, however weak she sounded. Although she couldn't move, her life didn't seem to be in danger. So that's basically the same thing that happened. But she, instead of trying to get out, she got zapped, so. It looks like there's some kind of powerful curse on these black threads. I'll get it. Tomonari channeled the power of the snow sacrament into his sword once more, then sliced at the black thread barrier, but because we didn't tell her to get help, she's not going to punch through the barrier, and we're all probably going to die in here. Got it. My sword can't make it through. It was just like when he tried. Okay, I was like, do you mean? I'm like, I know the thing with, but I'm like, some of this is the same. So I'm like, do we have to read the whole thing? No, okay, because like, okay, we can see them outside. Kamame's trying to hit through the barrier. Oh my god, I think Kamame just died. After ramming it with everything she had, she finally ran out of strength. Kamame! Kamame! Kamame fell to the ground, her breath feeble and weak. She didn't even have the strength to move anymore. You could have just let us all die and the bird be fine. You didn't have to hurt the bird like this. Still trapped by the swath of black threads, I couldn't even help her back up. Kamame, I'm sorry. You did your best. Without even realizing it, I started to cry. My inability to save anything that mattered to me left me feeling completely hopeless. Just then there was a shift in the struggle between Tojo and the kidnapping god, which he was still holding at bay. Tojo's sword was knocked out of his hands and struck the ground a ways away. Damn it! Without a weapon, there was no way he could fight. Tojo dashed to retrieve his sword. Oh, he's so dead. A swath of black threads came flying towards him when he did, which Tojo just barely managed to sidestep in time, because Tomonari's been knocked out at this point, right? The Blightfall took aim at him 2 or 3 more times. Unable to escape all of its attacks, he was eventually caught by the leg. The kidnapping god had been waiting for the moment he stopped moving. Tojo! That was blood. My eyes opened wide in astonishment. The swath of black thread sharpened at the end like a spear, then thrust itself through Tojo's body. He then fell limply to the ground. Tojo! No, not like this! Tojo! Tojo! Are you okay, Spacey? I'm fine, and Kamame, she's still alive. I'm more worried about your wounds. I'll be fine. I'm just sorry. I couldn't save the children, even though I promised Chie I couldn't do anything. and I dragged you and Kamame into all of this, Spacey. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. Tojo! 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 No matter how many times I called out to him, he never responded. We also get a CG in this one, and I have a feeling it's going to be a bad one. No! The kidnapping god slowly opened its arms wide as though it were about to embrace everything. The black threads extending from behind it swallowed everything up. Tojo, myself, Tomonari, Komame. He's okay, it's just a TV. Every time the black threads come spewing out, that scares the crap out of my bird. We were quietly engulfed by the darkness. How did this happen? What should I have done differently? What did I do wrong? We didn't get a CG in this one, though. That was the last thought I had before losing consciousness. That was the end? Ah, final chapter. Okay, for the bad end. I was like, well, we didn't get a CG in this one, though, for this bad end. And it says unlocks a CG and we're missing, too. I couldn't see or hear anything. I couldn't feel anything either, like I'd sunken into a bottomless pool of mud. And deep down in my heart, however, was a faint sense of unease, like an unextinguished ember. And this burning ember of uneasiness scorched my heart. I had things to do. Now wasn't the time to be asleep in a place like this. The face of someone who meant the world to me crossed my mind. Right. Spacey. I gradually regained consciousness while reminiscing about her. It was like I'd been having a very long dream. When I woke up, my head felt incredibly fuzzy. Where am I? I sluggishly turned my head and surveyed my surroundings, but couldn't comprehend this situation I found myself in. I was in a very strange space. It's a very white space. There was nothing. Nobody was there. The world was a brilliant white as far as the eye could see. So white I could barely tell up from down. It hurts. Dizzyingly bright light poured in from every direction. It was utterly sublime. I would say blinding, but sublime is a word. It's not giving me any terrible feelings, at least. It's giving me a migraine. In fact, it was almost comfortable. At the very least, I knew for sure I wasn't in any danger here. No, don't go into the light! My fuzzy thoughts quickly came into focus. When did I get here? I wondered as I stood up, trying to get a grasp on the situation. The ground beneath my feet was soft and unsteady, like I was floating in the air. What a strange place indeed. Seriously, where the hell am I? Am I dreaming? I checked what I remembered as I cautiously walked around. I'd definitely been fighting the kidnapping god until just a few moments ago, and I'd lost. I thought I died, but it looks like I'm alive. Was that all a dream? No, this is probably like... They don't even have a waiting room, no chairs for you to sit in while you're waiting while you die? If that battle hadn't been real, how long had I been dreaming? Since we located the children? Or since Lord Yoshimune was struck down? Or were those things part of this dream I'd been having all along? No, that doesn't seem right. I unconsciously placed my hand where I'd been stabbed through the chest, but I didn't find a wound there. I was absolutely certain the battle actually happened. I could vividly remember being pierced by a swath of black threads, which was all the proof I needed. More telling, I was still in love with Spacey. The fact that I felt that way about her proved those things had really happened. If they hadn't, I would have never fallen in love with her. Right. Where is Spacey? Shit, where's my wife? My footsteps quickened as I looked around for her. Oddly enough, I didn't feel uneasy about it. I instinctively knew she wasn't anywhere in this space. I just wanted to see her as soon as I could. I wanted to hold her in my arms and know for sure she was there. The funny part is because you get to this, and if you didn't know that you were in the sorrow end, you'd be like, okay, this is... So we'll be fine, right? No, you ain't gonna be fine. I can't believe she's made me such a wimp. She seemed like a completely ordinary girl when I met her for the first time, back when we went to pick her up from her hometown. Even after working alongside her in the Oniwaban, I'd only ever thought of her as my teammate. She was a tiny, frail little creature. If anything, I put her in the same category as Kamame in my head. She did seem to have special powers of some kind, although I didn't get my hopes up too high at first. But in spite of her unfamiliar surroundings, she did her absolute best at everything she could, and she used her powers to their fullest extent. I didn't realize until much later that even though she wasn't much of a fighter, her heart was much mightier than mine. Without her, I probably would have died when everyone suspected me in the beginning. I got through such a hard time when nobody believed I was innocent. Only she stood by my side and supported me when I was depressed and on the verge of giving in. She doggedly opposed the Oniwaban's decision in my defense. Her appearance belied a shocking amount of grit. We even took on the kidnapping god together. And thanks to her, the days I'd spent with Spacey were like a treasure sparkling brightly within me. It makes me really happy to hear you say that. Here's to next time. And can't wait to see it. My bad. It's probably smoky from my pipe. Oh, no, I'm fine. We've got to hurry up and catch the Blightfall summoner so the kids can live in peace. Definitely not. Don't get discouraged. I was going to say, we got to have the scene where she's yelling at you in jail. Live, Tojo. Do that and maybe one day I'll return your feelings. Reminiscing about being with her brought a smile to my lips. Oh, Spacey, I really do love you. I deeply regretted that the seal on my heart hadn't broken sooner. If I just had my heart back, I would have accepted her feelings for me. Sadly, she turned me down when I told her how I felt after getting my heart back. She'd grinned and said no thank you. She could be stubborn, too. Not that I was completely out of luck. She told me to make her fall in love with me again. And after that, when I touched her... Are you feeling self-conscious around me because I'm a man? I don't know. Let go of me. Her reaction was so cute. She was clearly feeling self-conscious around me then. I might have still had a chance if I hadn't been so full of myself. No, even if I didn't, I couldn't just give up. My love for her would only grow. I spotted something up ahead of me. Something of a different color in the vast sea of white. Spacey! I saw her collapsed on the ground. I hurried across the soft, unsteady ground and picked her up. Spacey, are you okay? And she was still breathing regularly. I was relieved to know she was just sleeping. Thank goodness. Is it really a sorrow end if we're, like, dead together? Because it's like, I mean, it's sad because then they had to kill Kamame. That's poor Kamame. Like, poor Tominari, sure, but, like, you know, you signed up for this shit. But, like, Kamame didn't sign up for this shit. And, like, me and Tojo being dead together, like, that's fine. It's totally fine. It's not the best ending, but it's, like... Sorrow ending is more like he dies and I have to watch him die, or I die. You know what I mean? One of us is alone without the other one. You know? This is just, like, an unpleasant ending. Like, not the best. This is the normal ending for most games where, like, it's normal. You're like, this is not normal. Well, normal endings in some games are like, and then you died, and you're like, that's not normal. I mean, yes, but not for a game. You know what I mean? I gently brushed away the hair in her face and stroked her cheek. Wake up. You're gonna catch a cold sleeping in a place like this. Sir, you don't even know what kind of place this is. We're basically dead, I'm pretty sure. In spite of what I just said, I truthfully had no idea where this even was. It wasn't hot or cold here either, meaning she probably wouldn't actually catch a cold. But none of that mattered. All I wanted was for her to wake up, and soon. When I gave her a gentle shake, her eyebrows furrowed slightly. Her eyelashes fluttered and she slowly opened her eyes. Tojo? Ah, you're awake. She spaced out for a little while and immediately gasped. She sat up in a hurry and looked around her. Her face was taut with fear. Where are we? A strange place, isn't it? White as far as the eye can see and empty. White? Is that what it looks like to you? Didn't everything look like that? What was she talking about? I knew it. I was hopeless after all. Spacey started trembling violently as she clung to me. Oh, does he think it's white, but we're inside the monster and it's because you're dying. Like he's dying, he's seeing everything as white, but okay, see, that's a sorrow ending. What's wrong? Although slightly confused, I was also happy. I wasn't aloof enough to be completely unaffected when the woman I'd fallen for was clinging to me. Oh, that's a pretty CG. It's adorable. And it's going to be sad, but at least it's pretty. I held her close to put her at ease since she seemed afraid. It's okay. You aren't in any danger here. No need to be afraid, I said, taking another look around me. There didn't seem to be any danger. Maybe she was upset because she'd just woken up. I'll protect you no matter what happens. And don't worry, Spacey. I spoke tenderly and rubbed her back to put her at ease. Because, he was stabbed, so, yeah, he's dying. That's basically. And then she looked up at me with tears in her eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? You have nothing to worry about. Or am I making you unhappy? Am I inadequate somehow? No, nothing like that. Not at all. Her eyes were closed as if she was ruminating over something she couldn't find the words for. Her forehead pressed into my shoulder. And then she turned around quietly and gave me a hug. I love you. She said it quietly, but she definitely said it. I was too shocked to respond, so she kept going. I'm telling you this because I might not get the chance to say this ever again, and I don't want to have any regrets. I love you, Tojo. I was so shocked I thought my heart would stop. I wasn't sure why she was saying this out of the blue. Why are you crying? Tears flowed down her face. Maybe she was so overcome with emotion. I wiped away her tears with my finger, but they just kept falling one after another. Seeing her look so touched on my behalf only made my love for her grow even stronger. Although it bothered me she said I might not get the chance to say this ever again, I wasn't quite sure what she meant. It was a minor nitpick compared to the joy of hearing that my beloved felt the same way I did. Spacey, I do too. I love you with all my heart. I held her tight, careful not to put too much muscle into it. I'm sorry I didn't return your feelings from the very beginning. I wouldn't have hurt your feelings back then if only I'd had my heart back. From now on, we'll be together forever. I'll never leave you. Ever. No, I have a feeling you're dying, and that's why she's saying what she's saying, and then this is like, it's gonna hurt us. Really, it is. Tojo. When she looked up at me, she was most definitely crying. What did I do to make you cry like this? All she did was feebly shake her head and cry when I asked. Any question I had about why she was crying immediately vanished. Maybe the happiness filling my heart had numbed my mind. I love you, Spacey. When I kissed away the tears in the corners of her eyes, her shoulders shuddered a bit. She's seriously so cute. An emotion not unlike instinct took over. Pretending to follow her tears down her face, I barely grazed her lips with a kiss. I planted another on her unconsciously parted lips to keep her from saying anything else. Although she widened her eyes in surprise and let out a muffled cry, she didn't resist. Spurred on by my love for her, I gave her deeper and deeper kisses. At first she seemed confused, but then she quickly began responding awkwardly and kind. It's the only time you're going to get to kiss him because he's dying. I changed angles over and over again, obsessively, voraciously placing my lips on hers. Sir, this is not the time or the place for this, but keep going. She wrapped her arms around my back, clutching at my kimono like she was trying to hang on, and desperately accepted my kisses. It was so noble and adorable of her, I could barely stand it. And this was a joy I'd never experienced in my entire life. Oh, never will again. It was the euphoria, but everything around us seemed to shine terribly, blindingly bright. It's been like that for a while! Maybe because where the rest of us aren't dying. Just as I was wishing this moment would last forever. That sounded squelchy. Something felt wrong. I blinked, still delirious from kissing her. A repulsive scene appeared before my very eyes. What the... I stopped impulsively kissing Spacey, holding her even closer to protect her. Black threads carpeted the ground near us so thickly we couldn't budge a single inch. But that wasn't all. The gruesome bodies of children and Oniwaban were scattered all around. There was a strange noise, and blood, flesh, and pieces of kimono rained down. So, like, we're trapped inside it, and it's killing our friends. That's even more tragic! I looked up and saw the kidnapping god above us. It had stretched black threads like a web-like nest where it sat high above us, holding something in its hand. The second I realized it was holding a human, it crushed them in its grip. Had what I seen earlier been a dream? Well, this was reality? Was she crying because this was what she saw? I stared for a short while in shock before looking away. I was no longer interested in who would die or what would happen to Ito. I don't care if I'm in hell now as long as I'm in hell with you. I gently held her head so she wouldn't see any more of this. All she needed to see was me. Well, fuck. That's not the sorrow ending I expected, but, like, bravo, game. Like, you know what I mean? That's a trauma ending. You know what I mean? That's, like, tragic. Oops, sorry. Okay. I do like that it also shows new, so you can see which ones are new. So this is adorable. It's cute. She's like, sir? Like, but it's cute. And this one's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, even though we know we're all about to die, we know she's holding on to him, but there's just something like... It's so funny because, like, you can just see his eyes are closed, but you can just see the utter bliss in his face. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yeah, this is my happy place right here. I'm just gonna stay right here. And he's just so content and happy. And, like, it's probably also in the body language, like how the arms are wrapped around her and everything and the look. But it's just, you know what I mean? Like, how good that can be communicated in a simple fucking drawing, you know? When you can just see a tiny little bit of his mouth and it's all in the eyes and the eyebrows. You know? And his eyes are closed even, you know? So props to them for that, damn. Also, like, Jesus, look at the muscles in his arms. Like, well, the one that you can see, but like, goddamn. But, ugh. Adorable. So that one is a pretty one. But of course, you know, the one that we have to end is this one. Because I love this. I only have one hand right now. Wait, how did I get over there? There we go. I am so happy that they put this in here. This is like one of the greatest little things. Like, look at how adorable everything is. It's so cute. I love it. Honestly, okay, I mean, like, the short bad end, it was like, oh my god, I never saw him again and we have no idea what happened. That's like, ouch. Okay, I mean, like, yes, he died, I'm assuming, and you're like, okay. Although, it leaves a lot left into interpretation and left open because you never see him again. I'm assuming you never see Tominari or Tanichibo ever again either. But, like, whatever's not important and the kids go and, like, nothing ever gets wrapped up. So it's kind of like, I never saw Tojo again. What? But, like, it makes sense because it's supposed to be like, did you trip into this ending? Because, like, bad. Dead. And you know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be all left open because you're like, wait, I obviously did something wrong here. But the sorrow ending, I don't, okay, I liked it. Because I think it was a different, because like, again, most tragic endings is like you die or they die or you die together. And this one was like, we are literally in actual hell. And like, but we're not in hell. We are trapped that freaking kidnapping God is eating and destroying everybody. Everyone is dying. Like the world is a hell. Ito is a hellscape right now. And you're like, oh my God, that's so like awful. And then he's like, nope, just look at me. We're just gonna live right here in each other's spaces till we die. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like he snapped a little and it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? So like, kind of liked it because you're like, oh, it's a little different, you know? Because like sometimes when they snap in games, you're like, oh, it's obvious. And this one, you're like, you snapped a little, you're gonna snap. Like, you're kind of there, and it's like, I don't know. You're like, ooh, because like I kind of figured, oh, we're dead, or he's dying, and she's like, oh, okay, because he's dying, and he sees the white light, whatever, and it's gonna be like, and then Tojo turned into a tobacco pouch, or all that was left of him, like whatever, he dies, and instead it's like, oh, we're Ito is literally hell right now, and it's like, oh, that was a twist I wasn't. It just was a twist I wasn't expecting, you know. So like, good for them throwing that little extra spice in there. Like, oh, everyone is brutally dying in this one. Good times. Trauma, trauma, trauma. Fun times. Yeah, no, so. I don't know if Sorrow End was a good title. It should have been Trauma End. But, you know, hey. I guess it's sorrowful. I just feel like that's understating it a little. But anyway, overall, great times had in Tojo's route. Great time had with this game. So I say that as if we're not going to keep going because we don't have 84 more years, because we do. I don't know whose route we're going to do next. And let's see. According to the guide, I'm scrolling it back because my thing did an update the other day and I didn't need to look at the thing. So, ooh, Kuga's route is next. Oh, fun. I like that. Okay, yeah. And actually, you know, I feel like that's a nice flow one because I like the stoic ones. Okay, so hi. We do find him adorable. And also the fact that like Kunitaka like thinks of Kuga as being like kind of like an older brother to me, whatever. It's kind of like a nice trail into his after doing Tojo's route, then going in to Kuga's route. And then Yoichi, then Kinji, then Tominari and Otaro. Okay. So I do like that because I do think Kinji's my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, that little bastard. I don't know, something about him. He's beautiful. But yeah. Oh, I was just noticing. Yes. Okay. Tominari's affection and sorrow endings, good and sad despair endings. First, complete all the routes. Okay. And then we already know. Okay, so we already know that we can't do that, so that's fine. I kind of want to see Otome Kitten's synopsis on Tojo, because I don't usually read them, especially if there's spoilers or anything, until after. So, but let's actually go skim through it. So, almost the sister zone route. And just pretend this route never happened with a line crossed through it. He was tasked with... Okay, so getting her and bringing her back. He's Tominari's senpai, though Tominari's not particularly interested. Okay. Okay, and then talking about Kamame. Okay, so she doesn't have any kind of spoiler things in there. I love Kunitaka as a character, and I enjoyed Maeno's voice acting. Okay, well, we'll get to that. And his character design. That open arm sleeve, though. Okay. And him possessing a natural affinity for children and acts like a big brother towards Tominari. She thinks his route was a letdown. Not only could I not vibe with his romance at first, but his events also seemed to have many handed out scenes. Perhaps it was because I played his route in the middle of my playthrough, so naturally the other better routes I had completed before he made it apparent how his story was comparatively bland. Well, we started with it, and if this is comparatively bland, we're in for some good times, because I enjoyed this. I didn't think it was bad. He also found the treatment of Kunitaka here in his own route of all things to be somewhat unfair, as his story seemed to be working against his favor. I mean, I can kind of feel like that with the plot that happened, but whatever. I feel like some of their romantic antics were a bit enforced. I think she means forced. Trip and fall multiple times for Kunitaka to catch her, giving their moment, which made her cringe few times. Well, okay. Relationship improved during the latter part of his. I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. But to be fair, I mean, okay. To be fair, yes. The like, oh, I have to trip and fall and he has to save me. Oh, I have to trip and fall. That's definitely overdone. And there are a lot of times that'll happen in games and I kind of roll my eyes. But the thing is maybe because like it's taken me so long technically to play this, where it's not like I've played it in 4 or 5 days, that like there are times she's like, oh yeah, they specifically mention it in the game where she's like, oh yeah, or he said it like, you've fallen a couple times and you're a little klutzy or whatever, but it didn't bother me where I would normally in other games roll my eyes and be like, Jesus fucking Christ, could you stop falling, you dumbass? You know what I mean? Where it gets overdone. Like she did and yeah and whatever, but I'm like, but I think, I don't know, I didn't find it overplayed in this one or it didn't bother me as much. You know what I mean? Because that's not like her only personality trait is clumsy, where all she does is fall. Like, you know what I mean? Like her falling a couple times, it's like, I guess, yeah, if you look back at it, you're like, yeah, okay, maybe they overdid it, but it's not like it happened every other scene. It was kind of spread out enough that it was just there. You know? And overall, I don't have any real complaints. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. If he is bland compared to other characters, then like shit, we're in for a good fucking time. You know what I mean? But also, again, I sometimes like the Labradoodles. We have fun with the Labradoodles. But when you get me so pissed off, I'm going to jump in the game and bitch slap a man that I love to death because he's being mean to my Labradoodle, that's saying something. I'm just saying. Okay? Because, like, shit. Don't make me come after you, Kyoshiro, because I love you more than anyone else. But I will take a bitch down for hurting this Labradoodle, okay? And I don't know why I'm getting so defensive about it. You know? Like, Tojo was a good character if I'm going to get that defensive about him, all right? Like, stop it. Stop, he's so sweet and innocent. But, like, good job on making you care that much, you know? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the other routes then if he's bland, because, and I mean, I guess maybe if the other ones are better, then this one would seem bland if you played it in the middle, but playing it first, see, seems like a good one to me, because, you know, it was a good lead-in, like, I didn't have any problems with it, I didn't see it, like, I mean, I guess, yeah, because, like, she's like, I'm all in love with you, and he's like, well, we can't fall in love, whatever, but it's like, but that's the nature of the vessel, you know, so, I mean, I guess you can't be too mad about it, so. Anyway, yeah, so we will start Kuga's route next time. So that'll be fun. Yay. I don't think I have anything else to say. So, yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.